How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about ChargePoint. You guys know how much I love this play, but I know it has been a while since I've given you guys an update. I think the last time I checked was sometime in September. Yes, I've been doing you guys wrong, but I just want to let you know this is still one of my most favorite plays that I both have medium and long-term positions in. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance, and what are some key levels that you want to look out for. Many questions are coming in. Hey, when is the best time to buy? And I swear I've answered this many times before in the past, what you want to consider. I do not recommend buying anything, all right? And then we're going to be going into Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. So what we want to do with this information is see how heavy are shorts vested in this play, and also seeing if institutions have been loading up as well. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. What we're trying to find out, what was happening in regards to were there a lot of large scale orders? Was it mostly retail buying? What was it looking like? All right, this is very key because it does have an impact on the stock and its momentum. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for ChargePoint. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $18.40, being down 1.39%. On the low, it tested $18.38, and then on the high, testing $19.10. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 5.893 million shares, and then for the average volume over 10 trading days being at 11.03 million shares. So one thing that we could see right away here, we did end up having below average volume on the day, and we ended up pulling back inside of the stock. Not that big of a deal, only down 26 cents. So now when we take a look at our chart, which is a 1-year daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 37.01. So that is right, we are in the oversold territory. Now when we take a look at our chart in regards to the moving averages, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And you guys know already, I love to see price action above the 21-day EMA for a lot of the plays we get into. But again, we have different goals when it comes to a play like ChargePoint. I believe in the long-term prospects here big time. So I was saying, if you can get into ChargePoint at $20 or below, that is a good position to take into consideration. We ended up seeing a low here, and I remember I got messages about this when we got down to $17. So getting into the $17 range, I feel that would have been an opportunity to consider adding, and I did add to my position a little bit as well. Now we see some recovery. So on the Friday we had support at $18.38. So going into Monday, I'll be very curious to see if this area can actually hold up. If we end up breaking through it, then of course we will be visiting back into the $17 range. As far as resistance is concerned, you can clearly see we have it here right at 19 bucks. So that's why I was saying, if the markets continue to be choppy, we can look forward to seeing 17. If we end up having a reversal, then of course I want to see us get past 19 and then make this move to where we get to a psychological area here right around $20. There will be a lot of resistance here, and if we end up having that buying pressure coming through the stock, of course we can see some momentum. So let's see how it performs going into Monday and as well as for the rest of the week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for ChargePoint. So green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So as we see down further, we have the most recent new position from Berman Capital Advisors purchasing 92 shares. So not that much whatsoever according to their October 7th filing. When we go back further though, October the 5th, we have IBM Retirement Fund going in with just over 650K shares. So that's good to see. We also have BlackRock that's been building out positions. They've done it in one of their ETFs. They have another ETF over here as well. But the most noticeable that we could see here we have Moonshot Innovators ETF, where they purchased just over 128K shares. And even going down further back on September the 24th, we have Fidelity that went in, look at that, 283K shares, just over that. But what we could see here near the end of September, there were a lot of institutions that were loading up on shares of ChargePoint from the filings. And then when we take a look at the short interest, we could see the dark pool short volume ratio is at 49.32%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 1.4 million shares. Scrolling down further, we can see for the short shares availability, it is at 800,000, updated 19 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate being at 0.73%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 7th, which was last week Thursday, it was at 34.11. And then the close for October the 8th, which was last week Friday, that just passed, 49.32. So it has gone up quite a bit. So what that tells us, there's a lot of negative market sentiment around ChargePoint. And to be honest with you guys, I am not surprised about it. We have the issues going on with the 10-year interest rates concerns and so forth. So a lot of growth stocks are going to start feeling the pain, and ChargePoint has been one of them. So this is why I wanted to make sure I put this video together for you guys to bring it back to your attention. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for ChargePoint. So we can see here on the inflow, we have 17,337. And then on the outflow, we had 16,500. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, we had 0 on the large for both. On the medium, we had 9,818. And then on the small, we had 7,519. And on the outflow side on the medium, we had 9,348. And then on the small, we had 7,153. So we saw there was a lot more buying on the retail side for ChargePoint on the Friday, which is good to see, but there also was a lot of selling. This stock has been pulling back, and the environments inside the market have changed quite a bit, so that's why I'm not too surprised by that reaction. And then when we take a look at what's happening on the medium, of course, we have a surplus, so that's also good to see as well, but also a lot of selling, just like we saw on the small. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, of course, we only have 0 here because it was 0 down the board. So taking this all into consideration here, I want to make sure that you guys continue to do your homework and your due diligence when it comes to this play. When taking a look at the shareholder breakdown, it is owned by 75% institutions. I feel that is very significant because this tells us, you know what, there's a lot of potential upside that's in this stock and institutions can see it. I'm not saying you should be basing all of your buying off of what institutions do, but it's one of the factors that you want to consider before getting into any play. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for ChargePoint, first what I want to do is go over what the analysts are actually saying about this play in regards to their price targets. So we could see here the analyst price target is at $34, signaling 84.78% upside from the current price of where it closed at $18.40. On the low, we have $24, and then on the high, we have $46, and of course, on the medium, we have $34. So taking this into consideration, this is where the upside comes in for ChargePoint. And I look at it like this: even if it went up only 50% of where it's at currently, I feel that is significant, because if we take that money and put it into an ETF, whether it might be the SPY and so forth, you're looking at a gain of maybe around 10 to 12% over a 1-year period. With ChargePoint, though, you have the ability where it's like, hey, even if it doesn't reach that top range as far as where the average is for analysts, you are still beating the market overall in general if this stock makes a jump going to $30 or even $28. So these are one of the things I want you to be aware of, and also consider while doing your homework. Don't just go out there and blindly buy it. And I've talked about this on the channel. Just because an analyst put out a certain price target does not mean that you should base all of your purchasing decisions off of this. I've seen this a lot on YouTube where people be like, well, the analyst price target is this. You need to go out and buy it right now. Again, you want to be very careful with that because a lot of these analysts do work for many of these hedge funds out there. And the last thing that you want to do is get caught slipping. And again, you just never know what could happen. I want to make sure I really bring that to your attention. But outside of that, when we went on Fintel, this play does continue to have short squeeze potential. And as far as shorts are concerned, they have increased their positions. And I'm not shocked about it. And the reason why I am not shocked, we are seeing what's happening in the market. Growth stocks are getting hit hard, especially the ones who were not profitable. And ChargePoint is not profitable as of yet. As long as we have the 10-year continue to spike, you're going to see ChargePoint pulling back. So if we see more choppy markets, I'm looking for it to actually start getting better, probably in the last week of this month and then going into November. I'm going to be looking to add even more, right? That's just my personal opinion on that. And that's why I want to make sure that I put this video out so you guys are updated and you're in the loop. I did not forget about ChargePoint. I didn't stop believing in ChargePoint. I know it's been a minute since I've spoken about it, but the fundamentals remain the same. I know it's not a profitable company, but I do know for a fact as far as EVs and electric vehicles are concerned, this is going to be the future. And this is why I will maintain having conviction. And we also do know there's a lot of other charging station type stocks that are coming into the market. So yes, this may have an impact on ChargePoint. What am I talking about? It does have an impact, but one of the things we do know, ChargePoint is a leader, right? And they have been focusing on expanding, growing, making sure that they could facilitate that growth when electric vehicles starting to boom. So even though we have the EVgo, we have the Voltas, we got the Blinks, it doesn't matter to me because at the end of the day, I know as far as ChargePoint is concerned, they're going to get that job done and they're going to be a leader in that space as long as they continue to grow. And also as long as we see as far as earnings reports are concerned, we are seeing improvements and just making sure fundamentally things are still going in the right direction. Hope you enjoyed this video and we'll be talking real soon.